Welcome students. Today I am going to start with the next chapter of your book, that is the Indian Economics Development. The name of the chapter is Performance of Agriculture, Industry and Foreign Trade during 1947 to 1990. First I am going to start with the first sector, that is the agriculture sector. These are the subtopics in this chapter, that is the importance of agriculture in the Indian economy. What are the features of Indian agriculture? What are the agrarian reforms taken by the government? What are the achievements of those agrarian reforms? And what are the limitations of those reforms? Let us begin with the first topic, that is the importance of agriculture in Indian economy. First importance is it contributes substantially to the GDP growth of the country. During the planning period, contribution in GDP of agriculture sector ranges from 51% to 17% in different years. In 1950 to 51, the contribution was 51%, and in the year 2016 to 2017, this contribution has declined to 17%. Although the contribution declined, but it indicates that the other sectors of the economy, that is the secondary and tertiary sector, are growing at a faster rate. Next is agriculture as a principal source of supply of wage goods. What are wage goods? These are the goods which are the necessities of life. For example, rice, wheat, bajra, oil seeds. This agriculture sector provides these wage goods to the people of the country. Third contribution is it is the principal sector or principal source of employment. As we all know, over 50% of working population in India is engaged in agriculture sector. That means it provides the maximum employment to the people in India. Next contribution is agriculture as the principal source of supply of raw material. Raw materials such as cotton, seeds, sugarcane, etc. Thus, it supplies raw material for industrial sectors, thus very important for the growth of industrial sector, because it provides cotton for the textile industries, seeds for the oil industries, sugarcane for the sugar mill. Thus, as a supplier of raw material, agriculture sector is a primary significance for the growth of the industrial sector in the economy. Next is source of demand for industrial goods. What are those industrial goods? Such as tractor, harvester, machines. These capital goods are exclusively demanded in the agriculture sector. So the growth and prosperity of the agriculture sector also leads to the growth and prosperity of the industrial sector. Next is the contribution to international trade. See, India exports so many goods to different countries. For example, tea, jute, cashew nut, tobacco, coffee, spices, etc. These exports are the principal source of foreign exchanges. What is foreign exchange? Foreign exchange is nothing but the foreign currency which India needs for the import of defense goods as well as the crude oil. Whenever a country exports something to another country, it gets the foreign currency, and that foreign currency is further used for the import of different goods for the country. Next is significant contribution to domestic trade. Agriculture sector also helps in domestic trade as well. Next is support to the transport industry. See, both the railways and roadways are the bulk carrier of farm products in India. So it implies that agriculture is a significant source of demand for the transport industry. Next is wealth of the nation. In terms of fixed asset, land occupies the highest rank in India. So it implies that the significant component of the country's wealth belongs to the agriculture sector. Also, in terms of let's say crores of worth of rupees are invested in major and minor irrigation projects. So implies that the agriculture sector is very significant in the country like India. This is our next topic, that is the features of Indian agriculture, first feature is low productivity. What is productivity? Productivity is output per hectare of land. This productivity is extremely low in India when we compare to advanced nations of the world. For example, China, UK, USA. What does this low productivity implies? It implies, or it is a sign of backwardness of the Indian agriculture sector. Next is disguised unemployment. What is disguised unemployment? It means hidden unemployment. It occurs when the number of person engaged on a piece of land is much higher than what actually needed. That means the marginal productivity of that extra labor is zero. That is why it is disguised unemployment. It means that it seems that the person is employed, but actually he or she is unemployed person. Third is dependence on rainfall. Because Indian agriculture sector, we don't have any permanent means of irrigation. So all the agriculture sector, because the farmers basically are small and medium farmers, so they basically depends upon the rainfall, and rainfall which leads to the instability of their agriculture output. Whenever there is instability in the agriculture output, the farmers income is also not stable, which leads to the indebtedness of the farmer. Next is subsistence farming. What is subsistence farming? That is the production for self consumption by the marginal farmer. That means they are not taking the irrigation or the agriculture sector as their business venture, because they don't have any surplus to invest. Whenever they don't have any surplus to invest, that leads to stagnation in agriculture sector. That is why the most of the farmers in the Indian economy, they depend upon the subsistence farming. That means they fails to generate the surplus for investment. Next is deficiency of modern inputs owing to poverty of the small holders. That means like for example, chemical fertilizer, insecticides, pesticides are not judicially used, thus low productivity, and therefore that leads to backwardness of the Indian economy. These farmers are very small, or these are the medium farmers, so they don't have any inputs to use properly. So that is why the production is very low in the Indian economy. Next is small land holding. What is small land holding? That means the farmers have very less land with them, which hinders the process of growth. Why it hinders the process of growth? Because of the mechanization of farms. That means the use of machine is very difficult in small land holdings. And next is because small land, very less amount of production is possible there, so the farmers belongs to the, or they only depends upon the subsistence farming, rather than they use agriculture sector for their profit motive. So our next topic is problems in Indian agriculture. What are the problems in Indian agriculture? First is lack of permanent means of irrigation, because the farmers mostly depend upon the rainfall, because good rainfall means good production, bad rainfall means bad production. That leads to instability in the agricultural output and the farmers income. So we need permanent means of irrigation across all parts of the country. This is the first problem in the Indian agriculture. Next is deficiency of finance, because small farmers depends mostly on non-institutional sources of finance for their financial needs. For example, money lenders, landlord. What they are doing? They are charging high rate of interest from the farmers. So whenever there is bad rainfall and the agriculture output falls, then these farmers, because they have taken the loan from these non-institutional sources such as money lenders and landlords, they have to pay high rate of interest to them. So that leads to indebtedness of farmers. because of high cost of borrowing, and that lead to vicious circle of poverty. The farmers will not be able to overcome the situation of poverty in this scenario. Next is conventional outlook. Conventional outlook means the farmer consider farming as a means of subsistence, not a business venture, because farmers are more focusing upon the types of crop which offers them food security than on those crop which yield them high profit, because they are very reluctant to take any risk, because all the cash crops, those are high profit making crops, they don't focus on them because they are very risky for them, because they have to invest lot of money in that production, and they are not very sure about the return. That is why they are more focusing upon the subsistence farming. Next is small and scattered land holding, because the land holding with the farm size is very small with them, that does not allow them to use the modern technology. Because of scattered land holding, it increases the cost of the management of the land. So it is the one of the problem of Indian agriculture, that government make various policies and programs regarding this in the later years. Next is exploitative agrarian relation between landlords and tenants. That I have already told you, that landlords are charging high revenue and they are extracting more rent from them. So the farmers or the tenant does not have that much income left with them, so that they could reinvest in the agriculture sector. Because they are not able to reinvest in the agriculture sector, which leads to the backwardness of the agriculture sector. Next problem in the Indian agriculture is lack of organized market, because India does not have any organized market at that time. That is why the large majority of farmers has to sell their produce in the local market at very less prices. Why they are selling their produce at very less prices? Because there are two reasons behind that. First is due to the compulsion, as they don't have any storage facility. All the farmers are very small and medium, so they don't have any storage facility, so that they could store their crops in that storage, or they can sell their produce in the market whenever the higher price of their product will come. So it is very difficult for them. That is why they are selling their produce at a very low prices. Then next is they are obliged to sell their produce to money lenders and mahajans, because they have taken loans from them. So in return of their loan, they have to pay, or they have to sell their produce at a very less price to these money lenders. So all these are the problems of Indian agriculture. So because of all these problems, government came up with the agrarian reforms. So those agrarian reforms I will teach you in the next class. Till then, goodbye.